All right, let's talk about Kyle Shanahan's clock. Isn't it interesting that the Buffalo Bills fired Sean McDermott today? And the thought process is, 9 years, Sean, great record, a lot of playoff appearances, but no Super Bowl rings, no Super Bowl appearances. Now, if he had made 2 Super Bowls and lost them, would he still have his job right now? I don't know. I don't think so, but I don't know. I have no idea. Guessing no, but I don't know. Possible. The point is they have high standards, and it took guts to do what they did. And it's kind of been the theme all offseason. McDermott, sorry. Tomlin, sorry. John Harbaugh, sorry. I mean, in the case of Tomlin and Harbaugh, Super Bowl champions, you got to go. We're not doing this anymore. And maybe it's because the Seahawks held on to Pete Carroll for so long, and now they have all this success with Mike McDonald. Teams are not trying to be sentimental anymore. And now all of a sudden you look up, and the longest tenured coaches in the league are Andy Reid, Super Bowl champion, Sean McVay, Super Bowl champion, and Kyle Shanahan, not a Super Bowl champion. So at a certain point, man, like it's kind of unprecedented to make it this far without a ring. Eventually you get fired if you don't have a ring. Eventually you get fired if you do have a ring. Bill Walsh got fired after 10 years with 3 rings. Still got fired. Kyle has no rings, and I don't think he's going to get one next year. So at what point is enough enough? Isn't it? What doesn't help matters for him is now there's a coach in the division who owns him. His offense is getting worse. Like what's so ironic about him, what's interesting about Kyle, is it seems like he legitimately did improve as a head coach this year. In terms of leadership, I mean, he was a better leader this year than he was in 2024. No question. But his offense is worse. He's not evolving. He won't play young guys. He still got Juszczyk out there. And now you got a coach who's been, watching him for a while, being like, okay, all right, you do this, you do this, you do this, you do this. You haven't really, okay, got it. And now he can't score a touchdown against that. And they have to face him twice. And they're going to be there for a while. And their defense is young. And they could be better next year. And they're going to be good in 2027. So now you're playing for second place. You got a coach who has no answers against the team to beat in your division. That's not a good place to be. That's a new place for Kyle Shanahan to be. Kyle used to be the opposite. Everyone were trying to find answers for Kyle, and no one had him. Pete Carroll never found him. Mike McDonald has him, and Kyle has no answers. And so at what point are you going to say, well, we need to have a coach who can beat the Seahawks? Because the only time the Niners beat the Seahawks this year was with defense. The Niners haven't scored more than 17 points against the Seahawks in a long time. But week 1 this year, they held them to 13 points, and Nick Bosa forced the fumble at the end, and that won the game. So if Kyle doesn't win the Super Bowl next year, does he get year 11? Does he get to become the longest tenured head coach in 49ers franchise history with no rings? Is that good for the organization? I mean, or does at a certain point, do you need a fresh start? It'd be one thing if his offense was clicking, man. It'd be one thing if he still had what looked like a cutting edge offense. But just in terms of offensive, I mean, Ben Johnson looks like a better offensive coach. Sean McVay, clearly. I'm just saying. If Eddie DeBartolo were the owner of this team, Kyle Shanahan would not be the head coach of this team anymore. He would have gotten fired after putting up 6 whole points in the playoffs against the Seahawks. That's it. 9 years? That's it. Seifert didn't make it 9 years. Seifert won 2 Super Bowls. Jed's different. The Yorks are different. So I don't know. It just seems like there should be pressure on Kyle Shanahan. You're in a group with 2 guys who have won Super Bowls and you haven't won one, and you're still employed because people think you will eventually. But are you getting closer or farther away? You didn't make the playoffs last year. You didn't make the NFC Championship game this year. You have a very expensive quarterback. You don't have a general manager. You pick the players. You're not good at picking the players. You don't develop young players on offense. You got a defense that's on one timeline and an offense that's on another. You have a substation next to your facility that you won't move, and you won't move your facility. You think you're going to be healthier next year when you have like a bajillion injuries every year, and it could be the substation or it could be any number of things. The fact of the matter is, you don't know what it is or why. You're not going to fix it. If you're healthy next year, it'll be blind luck. But there's a chance they win 12 games, 11 games, and a playoff game. And it just seems like a lot of fans are cool with that, and the organization is cool with that. Players are cool with that. I mean, all I heard today in the locker room was the team patting themselves in the back for what a great job they did this year. I don't think I don't know. It would be cooler. I remember in the 90s when it was like, nah, dude, we have the highest standard. All I know right now is the Bills have a higher standard than the Niners. The Bills. And that's been my whole thing. I'm like the Mr. Hater, right? Like, oh, you're always trying to get Kyle fired. It's not that Kyle isn't good. It's like, isn't there one goal here? Isn't the goal to win the Super Bowl? Isn't it clear he's not going to do that? So are you just going to cope and be like, you know what? Third place is great. I love third place. It's better than fourth place. Is that what the Niners are? Is that what the Niners brand is? I saw Lombardi post some stuff like, you know what? The Niners are the third best team in the NFC this year. Well, you know what? Hang the banner. Let's throw them a parade. Third best team. Wow. We're a plucky little upstart organization like the 49ers. That's impressive. The Niners could have fired him today, but they didn't and they won't. They could fire him next year. They probably won't. But I don't think a coach should be able to coach a team forever with no rings and no evolution. You're still trotting out Juszczyk. He's been on the team since 2017. He's going to be out there next year with his 200 yards and 2 touchdowns, playing 500 snaps. You know who's not fazed by Juszczyk? Seattle. Are you going to have any plan to do something different to score a touchdown against Seattle? I would love to know that. Kyle, how are you going to score a touchdown against Seattle next year? What's the plan? Throw to Tonjes?